Welcome to the School of Love, the place where miracles are normal. Hello and welcome to the School of Love, the place where we learn practical tools based on scientific research and our own experiences towards improving ourselves, living life to its fullest, and contributing to the best of our abilities to the world around us. I'm Dr. Maria Grajdian. In my free time, I am doing my best to guide you in building up a life of contentment, joy, and fulfillment while applying lessons learned in school to overcome the difficulties, challenges, and insecurities of the real world. Today's video is part of a new series on life at 45. As I have entered the second half of the 45th year of my life, there are specific thoughts and emotions I have been experiencing. While these insights are coming from myself as a woman, mother, and citizen, I deeply hope they might be helpful and useful for men as well. In today's video on Life at 45, I share my thoughts on technology and how the perception and evaluation of technology has started to change as soon as I have entered the fourth decade of my life. Like sexuality, work, finances, politics, my preoccupation with technology and the impact it has on the society at large have gradually taken over a central place in my quotidian activities, while simultaneously allowing myself to discover dimensions of me which I had not known before. Previously, I had totally ignored technology and only regarded it as a means to an end, that is, a more comfortable life for users. So why suddenly things started to change as soon as I and those around me hit our 40s? This video explores this question on a personal level. So why precisely has my attitude towards technology shifted from a sense of indifference and, well, it's practical and it's useful, but no more thoughts wasted on that, towards actually an active involvement with technology and asking myself the hard questions related to the function and the importance of technology in our lives? The reason is, of course, that I have grown increasingly worried about the involvement of my children with technology and the huge amount of time and energy technology is being involved with them. I don't say, I avoid the words is taking or is using from my children's lives, because this is simply something there to stay. Of course, there are people like the Amish communities or the Mormons communities who are fully rejecting any sort of technology and trying to live lives cut off from technology or with as little technological involvement as possible. But unless we choose that style of life, that type of life, really we have to count on fact that technology is here to stay and it will keep on developing itself to dimensions and forces we can actually hardly imagine. So what's important is that instead of criticizing technology and growing wary of it and worried that it might ruin our lives, we have to actually learn to cope with it. So technology like social media is here to stay. It won't go away anywhere and anytime, any soon. So instead of rejecting it and resisting it and complaining about it, the better way to cope with it is by learning how to best bring it to our own benefit. So technology is here to stay, and how do we cope with it? How do we engage with it in a constructive, productive, sustainable, healthy manner? Without losing ourselves into technology. So you already see that interhuman relationships become so technologically entrenched, and so people essentially nowadays, if you go to a restaurant, that finally restaurants are open again and one can just have a normal meal there, you'll see around you many people sitting at a table, and then everyone is focused either on their video games or on their smartphones, on a phone. And Well, I'm not criticizing it. This is also probably the new normal, what they call it. And actually the old world as we know it is probably forever gone. And again, resisting or rejecting these trends will only make us feel lonelier in the long run, and it's not beneficial to anyone. So again, I probably, this is the third time already I say it within a couple of minutes. Instead of resisting and rejecting change, or instead of resisting and rejecting technology and the impact technology has on our lives, the better way of coping with it is to learn to deal with it in a healthy, sustainable, and productive, as well as constructive manner. So this is, and while realizing this, for me, it had brought about a huge psychological paradigm shift, so to say, within myself, because I was wondering, so how can I enhance my relationship with technology? Previously, I had been the perfect user. I had been the perfect consumer. Give me something, show me that it's practical for my life, and then I'm going to just keep on employing it. But nowadays, I'm thinking even more so that instead of just engaging in a passive manner with technology, the easiest way would be to become proactive technologically. So one of the examples for this is, for instance, this ChatGPT. There are many people worried about it, that it will take away our jobs, but personally, I don't think it will take away my jobs, and I also don't think it endangers in a massive manner. For instance, the papers, the assignments that the students will write, or the assignments my children will write for their own school. I mean, previously, the possibility of cheating during exams or with assignments was there as well. So the fact that we have one more tool does not mean that people are going to tremendously, massively change their behaviors. What was already there, it will become, as always, enhanced. So it won't be a radical change. It will only lead to an enhancement of behaviors which have already been there before the appearance of such a new phenomenon like ChatGPT. But what's more important is, how do we harness our relationship to technology? There was in the 1980s this movie Terminator, which they made afterwards several sequels, and I think there's also a television series with the topic of Terminator. So with the rise of machines, and so machines will become independent at some point and will destroy human life on Earth. And I'm thinking, how much of this is actually the projection of one's own humanity, of one's own fears on technology? It's the same with religion. Traditionally speaking, God, at least in the Judeo-Christian tradition, God is imagined as an old angry man who is punishing you for everything you might be doing wrong. And as humans who do lots of things wrong, and that God is unforgiving and very judgmental, and is perfect, by all means is perfect, and is very angry. So if you look at the way God is described in the Bible, in the Old and New Testament, and in order to transcend that rage God is usually displaying, so Jesus, the figure of Jesus Christ was created, which then delivers a new vision on the world, in which forgiveness and compassion and imperfection become the norm. So, and the same I would say is with technology. So in religious thought, in the Judeo-Christian tradition, where actually humans created a God which very strongly reflects their own way of seeing the others and the world. It is a projection of one's own way of being. And I would say the same happens with technology. We project on technology our own fears, our own lack of satisfaction with the world and with our own lives, our own rage and need for revenge, and even more so, our own resentments. Yeah? So resentments, because they are so pervasive and we don't really want to recognize them, and correspondingly we repress them actively, they're probably among those negative emotions or negative states of mind. Resentments are the most dangerous because, well, like envy as well. There are things we don't want to recognize, because then automatically it means we recognize the superiority of someone we are feeling jealous, envious, or resentful towards. And this is very interesting. Yeah, this is very interesting. We actually, when we have this apocalyptic image of technology, it is actually our own projection, our own fear, our own insatisfaction with life, and not how technology itself is. Technology itself is actually, like emotions, is neutral, has nothing to do with how we see the world. We project upon all these phenomena our own emotions and states of mind, and then we involuntarily actually create such a world. That would be from me for today. There was very loud something outside. I apologize for that. But thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. And I'm looking forward to welcoming you very soon again. Love and peace to you all.